What is this,
Right.
40?
Episode 40. Roll it.
40. Roll episode 40.
Welcome back to the Volly House podcast.
Are you kidding me?
We are here at Colca Studios. Got Ryan Mackey on the sticks. God damn, that's bright. Be sure to give him a follow at Max_visuals. That's MACKS_visuals. You're on your own. Spell visuals. Go to volleyhousepodcast.com to ask us questions or send in stories or videos you'd like us to review. Also, give us a follow on all social media platforms at Volly House Podcast. And today, we have our special guest, Party On, Garth.
Party on, Wayne.
You got a clear shot of him with that face, right? That's fantastic.
I know my drumsticks today.
Car, game on, game on.
He looks like him, but he can't act for shit.
No, I'm not a good actor.
Phil, what's
I
your
don't have the
costume?
voice either.
My costume is... I don't know.
Even Ryan's got a costume on. He's got his whole face painted and everything like that.
Tyler's going to be sweating it out in about 5 minutes.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to stay on. This is a...
It's Halloween week.
it is. Happy Halloween.
When is Halloween? What day of the week is it?
Friday.
Friday.
Oh, shit.
Friday night.
Yeah, I've worn this to so many parties throughout the years. And people just assume like I'm an astronaut or whatever. But what this really is, for people who can see it, it's a crash fire rescue.
Looks like it's
Turnout
never been
gear.
used.
Probably not. This is actually my buddy, shout out Danny Francis, Port Authority Sergeant, gave this to me a couple years back. Before
Was he in the cadre?
Did it fit you at one time?
It did fit me at one time. He was in Port Authority when they were police and fire were merged.
They still are.
I thought they split. I thought it's now fire and.
I think
they're-
they're just assigned to fire now, and they have a legit
Yeah.
fire chief now, an assistant fire chief, like strictly for that.
No, it's the cops.
It is the cops, but I think they're like separated a little.
Yeah.
Oh, are we on the
Yeah,
screen?
What's that?
Are we on the screen in the other room?
Are we? Are we good, Rob? All right, no problem.
All good.
Yeah, no, they had. I
Management.
think they're separate, fire and PD, but they're still Port Authority.
They're still Port Authority cops, but I think they're
They
assigned
used to be like the cops would respond. They would get the same training as fire. I could be dead wrong too, but
I don't know.
That's what I was on the impression.
We'll have
of.
to get a Port Authority guy in here.
True.
Well, my friend works there. I'm pretty sure it's all cops.
They're all cops.
Yeah, they're all cops,
They're
but
all
they was
cops,
all-
but I think they're assigned to fire or assigned to police.
Right.
Like one or the other job.
No, it's only senior cops can be in that fire.
Okay,
cadre.
whatever it is.
Oh, okay.
And I know they had to hire fire chiefs, like legit fire chiefs.
Oh, let me ask him.
Outside it, yeah. Because I know a couple of the guys that are chiefs. They used to be firemen.
All right, let's get into.
Well, why don't we start off since we're in the Halloween mode? Just be careful out there. Kids are going to be on the streets.
Oh yeah, Don't worry, I got some
you
spooky
got all-
facts.
Okay. All right,
All right,
go.
Garth?
Go. I'm taking this costume off very soon, so.
Yeah, we'll see whose costume off first. It's already getting hot.
I never wore a sweatshirt in here, and I'm getting hot.
Yeah, this is getting tough. Let's start with Command Fire Apparatus. Need a reliable fire truck? Have a surplus fire truck to sell? At Command Fire Apparatus, they specialize in high-quality used fire trucks ready for your department. They're not brokers. They buy, refurbish, and sell directly to you. From pumpers to ladder trucks, they have what you need, and they pride themselves on delivering a truck to you that is ready to go in service. Join the many satisfied departments that trust them for their fire apparatus needs and experience stress-free selling and buying today. Visit sellfiretrucks.com or call 866-238-6688. Your next fire truck is just a click away. Command Fire Apparatus is a firefighter-owned and managed company. So if you are in the market for a rig and you don't have the budget for a new one, definitely reach out to them. They do a great job.
Or a quick fill-in truck. God forbid you have a wreck or something happens.
Yeah, that too.
The cadre is all the police department, but it's a police detail. So it's the police department, but it's like it's a detail.
Yeah, they're sent over, like assigned
Yeah.
to fire.
Interesting.
But he said it's all guys who are just about to retire, but not there yet.
That makes sense.
Because I said to him, I was like, oh, when are you gonna go join the little fire department? I called it. He goes, 2 years before I retire.
Nice.
Command board. As an incident commander, you know that running a scene can be chaotic. Not only are you responsible for getting the job done, but you're also responsible for the members that are putting their lives at risk. As the alarms we respond to change, so does the way we're prepared to handle them. Instead of trying to keep tabs on a whiteboard or notebook, what if there was a tool that had information and checklists that you can follow as the scene unfolds? Meet iCommand Board, a tool created by a fire chief to run flawless incident command. It's made to easily carry and fit in any responder vehicle or rig. It's also designed for any calls our departments handle and can even be customized to your department's needs. If you're looking for an affordable tool to improve your fireground capabilities, visit iCommandBoard.com today.
Smash.
Smash.
Excellent. Party on.
Oh yeah,
Wayne.
you're out.
I'm out. Costumes off. How's anybody going to take me serious wearing that costume?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to fucking take this thing off because I'm dying. So I need you and Phil to clear some space, airspace. that is.
Airspace? All
Yeah.
right. Well,
Or
I'm going to
gap
talk
theory.
about Taylor's Tins.
Joey D.
While you're doing that and the Joey D seminar. So the Joey D seminar, get out of my camera angle. Joey D seminar is next weekend, 7th, 8th, and 9th. 2 days of hands-on at the Suffolk County Fire Academy, and then 1 day of lectures. Taylor's tin, I'm wearing a shirt. He sent it to me, so Taylor, you see I'm wearing it. I just received it, but every year he donates some of his shields. So these are basically metal shields, and we just send him a design. I don't know if you can get that, Ryan, but it's probably a little tough. But this is the 2025 Joey D Seminar shield that we made up. So it's a commemorative shield that he does every year. And we'll sell these and raise some money. But all the money from the Joey D Foundation goes right back to firefighters and departments that can't afford bailout systems and personal safety training. So taylorstins.com. Tell them you saw this here on the Volly House podcast. But stop burning up your leather and wear some metal. But that's Taylor's Tins. Excellent job, Taylor. Once again, thank you. What? I'm going to put glasses on? Hold on, we'll put glasses on. Hold on, I need a helmet so I can put my shield on. Let's get into suspended
or not. So this one I think we...
Halloween edition.
No, I didn't get any Halloween ones, but...
Did you put out a post? I didn't even see.
I did. Well, a post for Job of the Week, which we got a couple submissions, but this came in... I think we may have talked about this already, but it was submitted from Australia.
Yeah, we got some people listening down under, which is awesome.
Down under.
We're getting around the world nowadays.
Yeah,
One of
so-
the Insight fire training guys was from Australia.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I
at
remember you
FDIC.
talking about that.
He was funny.
Yeah, this guy reached out, the suspended or not, and it's the video of the fire truck from Melbourne, Australia, that's driving through the floodwater. And it's
I don't
the
know if I saw that
water.
one.
They drive through. There's people filming, and it looks like a high water vehicle, but it drives down into this flooded street. The sirens are on. Then all of a sudden, the siren gets covered up by the water, and the water literally comes halfway up the windshield, and these dudes just continued to drive through. Like the whole truck was almost submerged.
That a
And you
snorkel?
see- huh?
Have a snorkel?
Dude, you see the two firefighters like pop their heads out in the cab, and then they
Nice.
come through, and as the truck finally gets through, like you hear the sirens get back going because they come out from underwater. But yeah, I reached out. I'm like, first off, that's awesome that you're from Australia, because how did they come upon this? And then we got into a little chat. There are a lot of volunteer departments in Australia.
There's volunteer departments all around the world.
All around the world. What he told me that was different from what we do here is their state, like each state has, I guess, like the city departments are paid, and then the volunteer departments are part of that state. They're all like run by the state, which is probably different than what people here are used to, states. But I just thought it was interesting, and I was like, fuck yeah, I'm putting that under suspended or not for completely
Don't drive
submerging
through.
a truck
Yeah,
underwater.
don't drive through floodwaters.
Happened recently in our department. Had to replace the motor.
Yep.
Expensive puddle.
Was
It's
that
very
expensive?
We had a similar thing happen to us last year, and they drove the rig through the water, got into the motor. Luckily, we had a good mechanic who was able to take it all apart and get it back together and run, which is amazing because sometimes once you start sucking water into it, it's done. Happened a lot during Hurricane Sandy. My heart goes out to everybody down in Jamaica and Cuba and everywhere else that's getting they just got hammered or is still getting hammered by these storms down there. Category 5 hurricane hitting on an island is never good.
Yeah,
I saw some pictures. I mean, sometimes there's nothing you can do. Everything's flooded, but if you can avoid driving a $1 million rig or $2 million rig through floodwaters, please try to avoid it because as we say, it's very hard to get a new rig anyway. That's where command fire apparatus could come in. You can buy one, hopefully that he has in stock, an older piece of apparatus. But we should try to stay out of the floodwaters as best we can and, maintain our safety and personnel because you get stuck in there. Now, what are you going to do?
It's funny. We got a water rescue on Old Willets Path once on the road. It flooded so bad. And they called the ladder truck to stick the bucket out to grab someone out of their car in the middle.
stick.
And especially now, you have a lot of leaves falling that clogs up the drains, the storm drains. So, the roads get flooded a lot easier. People's garbage bags and stuff. It happened in my neighborhood. The garbage bags all floated down the street, blocked up the drain along with the leaves. And that was it. The whole area was flooded out.
The problem.
So,
the problem
and
with
I'm not
flooded
saying,
roads-
listen, if there's a fire, there's a fire. You got to do what you have to do in certain cases. But if you can avoid it any, way, stretch lines from distances, whatever you got to do. But
The problem with the flooded roads, if you're not familiar with that area, and you can't tell how deep it is.
no, you
So
cannot.
when you're going through that, that's why people get stuck under the train trestle in Smithtown all the time because every time it pours,
Yep.
that water comes up. People drive through thinking they don't realize the road dips down under
Which
the
one, by
trestle.
Katie's?
Yeah, and people
And you,
get stuck there.
and
all
if
the
you get
time.
outside of this state, if you go out to, the Midwest, Texas, stuff like that, where they have some of these underpasses, they actually have levels under the bridge marked. So it shows you 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot, 4 foot, because it floods all the time. And, even though they don't get a lot of rain, when they get rain, it's a heavy flash flood, and it floods out right away. So you can just look at the side of the bridge, and it'll show you how deep it is. So sometimes you go and buy it, it says 4 or 5 feet. It's like, you'd be an idiot to drive through there,
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
but you got to be very careful wherever you are, especially if you're traveling around and stuff like that. But you do not want to get stuck in floodwaters. And the other thing, too, is walking around. You should not be in bunker gear walking through floodwaters. Manhole covers come off and stuff like that, where you step into a hole and you're going straight down. And then, certain roads, like you said, if you don't know the area, you don't know the roads. For instance, like Texas, they have these troughs, and even Florida in spots on the side of the road. And if you go off that edge, you're going down even deeper. So you got to be very careful.
I wouldn't even want to be in any significant amount of water with bunker pants on.
No.
You just get so heavy, you couldn't keep yourself up. If you're in waist.
And it gets the boots when they get waterlogged.
They
get tight.
stick to your feet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we talked about that one time.
But it is super dangerous, walking in any type of water. You don't know what's in it. So
I actually got some hot water on my leg at Nassau yesterday.
Yeah, I was
From
just
being on my knees, the
Yeah.
freaking water kind of went
Yep.
went up a little bit.
definitely.
Shit was hot.
yeah, we talked
I
about
gotta
that.
take these things
The
Yeah, you can still get burnt in bunker gear from hot water and
the
everything. else.
garden apartment fire. I was just talking to Ryan about it. Said it was a little steamy in there.
You got in there, Ryan? Yeah?
Yeah, they put them
Nice.
first due. First
Get
on
the
nozzle.
probie in there.
Oh yeah, you were on that line with Nick when you went into the left. Yeah,
It's
Yeah,
awesome.
I did the search and they followed me. I was fucking burning like a motherfucker to the point where I was like, "Where the fuck is the water?"
Yeah. They charge.
You
it
start
up
to
in there.
realize how important water really is.
Yeah, I'm like, and you know what? I'm in there. I'm like, "Oh, nice. This heat feels good." And then I'm like, "All right,
Okay.
maybe I'll go back to the door now."
Yeah, right.
Good stuff.
Job of the week. So we got a couple submissions.
There's been some fires around too.
Big shout out to Central Islip Fire Department. Residential fire. They made 2 grabs with PD.
I think 5 cops were in there, right?
Yeah.
Or something like that. Had to go to the hospital, smoke inhalation.
Yep.
And then, they had a big job. Selden
Did
had
you
a
go
big
to that?
job.
CI? No.
Of course, as soon as I go out of town, I was down in Florida for a few days moving my daughter. But Selden had a job. We sent an engine over. That was during the day.
Yeah.
2 days ago, I think. But garage fire got up, into the first floor, second floor, into the attic, burnt through the roof. It was pretty advanced when they got
Yeah,
there.
I did see that fire.
There's been a
Also,
bunch. Hempstead had 2.
It was
They
a
have
commercial
one,
job
they have one
somewhere,
right now.
Albertson had a 2-alarm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hempstead, I think, has one now,
Right now?
or they had one earlier. We got a submission from Virginia.
Where was that
Sterling-
commercial? There was a commercial fire too. I saw somewhere. Where was that? I saw it coming out the front of the
Commercial
building. Where the hell was that?
There was somebody
A couple days ago.
posted the Oceanside video again not too long ago that we talked about last week.
Freeport had a 3-story apartment building.
No, it was commercial. I saw somebody had a commercial job in the last week.
Uh,
Whatever. There's been fires around.
We have
Getting
a
into heating
submission
season.
from Virginia, Sterling Volunteer Fire Company. They had a 3rd alarm with a collapse.
Anybody firefighter traps or got trapped? Or?
No,
No.
he actually the guy who submitted it sent some pictures too. It was definitely going.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Damn, Nassau County's been fucking.
yeah, a lot of fires. So, in lieu of drill of the week, I figured I would look up some Halloween firefighting related facts. So the first one is Sleepy Hollow Fire Department in upstate New York.
nice town.
Has a
That's where I just
Halloween colored scheme on their rig, which you were just there. Did you go to their firehouse?
Yep, I went in the firehouse. I think it's that ladder that's like black and orange.
Yeah, they have
You
the
were handing out
orange.
stickers everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just so happened I was just walking. I was going to get lunch, and I just walked by, and I just knocked on the. I was going to put the stickers in the mailbox like I did for Tarrytown, but I knocked on the glass, and there was actually like 10 dudes sitting inside. I couldn't even see them.
The morning coffee crew.
Yeah, it was probably like 12. Yeah, but I think there were some paid medics in there maybe.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But they I think they like staff their firehouse. It's volunteer, but I think they like crew up.
Maybe a combo apartment.
And yeah, they were just sitting there. I gave them a ton of stuff.
Yeah, so they have that their ladder truck, like you said, black and an orange theme because Sleepy Hollow is where the lore of the Headless Horseman came from.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, they got a big horseman out right in
Yeah,
front
there's
of
a
the
lot of
firehouse.
Yeah.
lot of history there.
Yeah, it's sick. Now here's some interesting facts. House fires go up by 40% on Halloween according to NFPA.
I wouldn't doubt it. Candles.
So it says
I mean, a lot of people switch into the automatic candles. What do you got over there? You
oh,
got
that's
the,
real.
You got the
Yeah,
fire
real
candle going
candle.
over there?
Yeah.
Nice.
The leading cause of residential fires on Halloween is due to unattended cooking, which they blame on trick-or-treaters. So trick-or-treaters
see
come
that.
to the door, people have something cooking, they go to the door, they start looking at the costumes and blah, blah, blah. Next thing you know, your kitchen's gone. The other 44% of these fires are caused by decorations near candles or a heat source.
Yep. I believe that.
So,
And probably days coming up to it.
oh yeah, for sure. And to what you were talking about before, Kev, here's another fact. More people are out on the streets in neighborhoods on Halloween. So,
Than any other night.
than any other night, so be extra cautious responding to alarms.
And same thing with the leaves. A lot of leaves in the street. Don't drive through leaf piles with the rigs and stuff. Kids could be playing in them. The roads get slick, especially on turns and stuff like that, So that's all areas where you have to be extra cautious. Not just on Halloween night, but any time when you get into the fall. When I was growing up, most of the trees already dropped their leaves by Halloween. Now, it's not so bad.
You know,
It goes later and later in the year.
when I was driving here, and even just driving through neighborhoods, I don't see like there's no TP on trees.
Know what?
Ring
no,
cameras.
No, like
It's because ring cameras exist now.
yeah, but you can still TP a fucking tree. Like you remember you take the roll of toilet paper.
Oh,
and
yeah,
throw 'em
yeah,
over the
yeah.
trees?
You see it sometimes.
We used to do that.
Egging,
Eggs,
yep,
egging,
eggs in the
shaving
neighborhood.
cream.
That still happens from time to time.
I just feel like it used to be a lot more like
Yeah.
people. were
Halloween
doing
used to be the night there was no rules.
Oh yeah.
You just go out and you do whatever you want.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just you could get away with it. You just blend in with all the people on the street.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so those are
Sleepy Hollow is a really cool town. Have you ever been there before?
no.
Sleepy Hollow and Tarrytown, it's like they're like stacked right on top of each other. It's like I compare it to Huntington Village.
Okay.
It's very. I mean, Huntington Village is a little more commercial and spaced out. Where like Sleepy Hollow, when you're going down one of like the main roads that their firehouse is on, like if they're driving those rigs hauling ass down those streets, they're fucking tight. It's like, you know how Main Street in Huntington's 2 lanes in both directions with the cross streets? It's like 1 lane in each direction, and then some of the it's not a perfect grid, so like some of the roads are a little wonky.
Oh really?
So driving rigs in that area is definitely interesting.
Oh, I'm sure.
And it goes from it's like a village, city, small taxpayers and stuff like that, and then like really nice buildings on the water, like apartment buildings on the Hudson.
Interesting.
It's like a decent mix, and it's so different than. It's so tight and compact in Sleepy Hollow and in Tarrytown, but like Westchester has so much more room. So like when I was leaving, I was talking to my fiance on the phone. I'm like, it's like Huntington, but the thing is, Huntington is also surrounded by pretty dense suburban neighborhoods, where it's like Tarrytown, Sleepy Hollow on the Hudson, and then woods.
Right.
So it's like, why did they build like it's so tight on top of each other?
Yeah.
Then you have Detroit. You have Devil's Night, which is the night before Halloween.
I always knew that as mischief night.
Yeah. Oh, it is. There's a lot of fires. People used to buff, especially photographers, that go from here out there just to go buff fires or go to fires the night before out in Detroit area.
We'll have to keep tabs
There's
on
a
that.
couple. What's the other one? There's another. Is it Gary, Indiana, or something? So somewhere out there is another.
So what? People just run around and burn shit down?
Yeah, it's like insane.
Fuck.
Just fires everywhere.
Like
It's
8
called.
Mile
It's
and
called.
light the house
I'm
up.
pretty sure it's Devil's Night. Devil's Night.
So
It's the
is
night
it-
before Halloween.
Like, they burn in like vacant buildings?
Pretty much.
That makes sense. It doesn't make sense, but
It's like an
Maybe.
8 Mile when they like pour the gas on the floor and light the house up.
I want to know the statistic of how many fire department responses they get.
where in Detroit?
No, because of Halloween decorations. Like,
Look it
they
up.
show the guy with the ladder and the guy's hanging on the side of the building.
I
Like,
love those,
Right,
yeah.
that's a good one. There was one I saw just recently. Like all the windows look like they're glowing on fire. Like it looks legit. Like it's legit on fire. You put a little smoke in there. So I'm sure there's something out there with some statistics on that. But there's got to be a lot of calls for people that think they're dead or whatever.
Let's see. I just Googled it.
What's
There's no
AI say?
single number for how many times first responders are called for fake decorations, as it varies by location and specific decorations. However, some extreme decorations have prompted multiple calls, such as a South Carolina display that received dozens of calls in its first year, and a Riverside, California home that has had firefighters called multiple times for its fake fire effects.
Yep. I believe that. There's got to be a lot.
Just
Yeah,
like-
this one,
it's the
South
same.
Carolina.
We used to have the kids light all the leaves on fire, but there's no leaves anymore.
It's the same neighbor with the freaking dementia calling.
Yeah,
What's on fire?
There's a guy hanging from the gutter.
You called us 3 times today.
The South Carolina display, a couple's elaborate Halloween display, which included smoke and a simulated house fire, resulted in approximately 30 911 calls in its first year.
Wow.
The calls decreased in later years after residents became accustomed to the display. In Riverside, California, a family's Pirates of the Caribbean themed Halloween display with fake flames in the windows has resulted in multiple calls to the fire department from concerned passersby who believed the house was on fire. And they had this,
There's got to be a lot of them.
they had that look at this picture.
Oh my God. I mean,
Which one is that? Yeah, that's the one I saw.
So I don't know,
It looks legit.
Brian, if they could see that on camera.
Can you zoom in on that?
No, but I'm sure they've seen it around. But
Yeah,
if you're
I
looking at
saw
it,
that
it
on
looks
Instagram
like,
or something.
It looks like a fully involved house.
Yeah, it looks like it's a good job.
That actually happened when I've definitely talked about it on here.
You got my hair over there?
Someone's hair. When I was training as a dispatcher, it was on Halloween, and we took a 911 call for a reported house fire with occupants, and it was Hop Hog's district. So I activate Hop Hog, let them know we're taking calls for house fire with occupants within. So obviously units are dumping out of the firehouse. And the guy calls back, I'm so sorry, my neighbor, he had a Halloween thing going on. I didn't know he was doing a haunted house, and he had the smoke coming out of the windows, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, that's another, like, classic,
That only happens in Hot Dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, the big thing I think is response. Just be careful of responding and driving rigs. We don't need to be running people over.
Yeah.
And, I know we want to get there quickly, but, these little kids, they jump right out in the street. The parents aren't always watching them all the time tight enough, and, just be careful.
Even at, like, when it gets darker out, just because it's darker, yeah, maybe the little kids aren't trick-or-treating anymore, but then you got, like, the teenagers that are out there fucking around. And they're usually in, like, large groups. So, yeah, be careful. A few topics. First one was a continuation of what we ended with last week, but cowardness in the fire service.
Coward.
And I know, Kev, you got fired up at the end there.
Listen, it's a tough road. Like I said, we're here to do a job. You volunteered, you raised your hand to protect lives and property, and you have to act accordingly. And I get it. This is a dangerous business. We're not getting paid for it as volunteers. Even if you are paid, there's cowards in paid services too. But you're there for the residents. Whether you're driving a chief's car, and we've seen chiefs that don't go into fires, and people that don't put the gear on properly, or they have a problem every time they get to the front door. The mask is broken, they're missing a glove, or this and that. You got to be squared away every single time you plan on getting on that rig. Otherwise, don't come down. We don't need you. If you're going to be a coward, like I said, we don't need seat fillers. We need quality people that are going to respond and do a job. And if you feel that that's not for you, you feel that you're not going to risk your life for other people, then maybe this isn't for you. And, there's a lot of people who will say there's a spot for everybody, there's a place for everybody in the volunteer fire service. And I believe that to a certain extent. But there is also people that just do not belong, unfortunately. So if firefighting's not for you, you're afraid of heights, you don't want to ride in a rig or whatever the deal is, then, maybe you shouldn't be here. Maybe you should be a CPA somewhere. Maybe you should be an ambulance person or an EMS person. Get your EMT and do that. But to come into the fire service and just be another person doesn't help us. And there is a lot of social end. You want to get involved in fire prevention and teaching kids and stuff like that. There are avenues that you could do it, but don't take a seat for a person that should be going into fires. All right, and it's a shame sometimes that people we see, and listen, they're not always going to live, but you have to give it a shot. You got to make a move. You got to try. That's what we're here for.
I think why people join is a big part of it. Like, I remember when I joined, granted I was young and some people join older, but I just told my mom, I'm like, I just want to bust down doors and run into fires. I'm like, that's what I want to be doing. Like, I didn't know anything about the social aspects of it. Pension, I still don't even care about it. Like, I'm not in it for that. Like we were just saying right before we started, like, being captain now, I have no problem managing, and like, I like leading the guys. I like making the guys feel good and feel happy being there. But I want to fucking work. Like, I want to like going into Nassau County yesterday. Like, I was like, it reignited the holy shit. I love doing this.
Yeah,
like it's fucking fun.
You just got to remember, as an officer, as a leader, and I've said this before. When you're a firefighter, you're kind of worried about yourself or whoever's working with you. When you become that lieutenant or captain, now you're responsible for your crew, or whoever's on that rig. As you become an assistant chief or a chief, now you're part of that bigger picture. So as you move up those ranks, you got to be able to facilitate that role. Now, there's nothing wrong with, especially when you're shorthanded, and there's departments all over the country that, whether paid or volunteer, that ride with only 3 people on a rig or 2 people on a rig. The officer is part of that crew. Okay, you still have to be a firefighter because there's only 2 of you or only 3 of you. It's just the way it is, and there's nothing wrong with going in there and banging down doors and stretching line and putting fire up, because that's your role. You're supervising, maybe as the backup person on the line to the other firefighter. And I know, listen, in a perfect world, we have 4, 5, 6 people on a rig. I get it. That's not everywhere. Budget cuts, money, being a volunteer, you don't know who you have coming. But we have to realize that as we take different roles, we're responsible for more people. But you're right. I like still breaking shit. I like
Yeah.
still doing shit, you know. And
I mean,
you
don't
know,
get me wrong. Like, before we started the drill, like, I jumped out of the truck. I even opened the door to the crew, and I opened it up, and I'm like, look, because they had never been there before. Nassau burns hotter, for people who don't know that, than Suffolk County.
no.
I knew something was coming.
Suffolk County sucks.
No, they all burn hot. It just depends on who's the instructor sometimes. But
Well, I think the instructor even said he went a little, he lit it up a little.
you
bit.
went a little too
baby.
far.
Gotta crank it up
You got to be
sometimes.
careful when you're
But
dealing with burn.
Anyway, I went to the crew in the back, and I'm like, look, it's gonna get a little hot in there. I'm like, make sure you freaking got your hoods on. Pull your little hood out of your helmet. And I said, just let's get in and move. I'm like, as long as we get water on the fire, we'll be fine.
That's it.
And
Quicker water gets
know.
on the fire, the problems go away.
and we had a blast. You know what's funny? So it was me up front. I had a lieutenant in the back and 2 younger guys in the back. So me and the lieutenant go, all right, I'll take him, you take him, and then we'll split up and we'll go search in different directions. And then we went back and forth for a little bit. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm like, you 2 go by yourself, and the captain, me, and the lieutenant are going to go together. I'm like, let's see how that goes. And they're like, all right, let's do it. And then it was actually fun because they lit up fires in all different areas.
Challenge
in this
accepted.
place. And it was fucking awesome. Like, same 2 guys I did the extrication tournament with. They killed it, and they did great yesterday, too.
That's great.
It's fucking awesome. Like, we were just joking around, like, all right, lieutenant with one guy, captain with another guy. Then we go. I'm like, you know what? I turn around and I'm like, how about you 2 go together, and we'll go together.
Well, I think that's good too. You get the guys motivated. And to hop back on the subject of cowardice in the fire service, how often nowadays are we setting the expectation when guys come in? So,
Well, that is
like-
a big problem. We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
You know, I think sometimes we don't tell people or fill that expectation of what is really required to be a member, what is really required to fulfill your training obligations and quota, what is really required of you risking your life. And, you know, I teach quite a bit, and I tell my students all the time, you know, listen, you're going to risk yourself. People get hurt. People get killed in this business. Whether you're volunteer or paid, it doesn't matter. Fires are fires. Collapses happen. Things can go wrong. And we've seen firefighters, both volunteers and paid, get hurt, killed, and everything else.
there's two
So-
there's 2 things to it though. You have the one side of it where people who've been in the fire service for a bit but don't constantly train. They're not involved with the drills. They're not getting that. They're not furthering their education. So when something does happen and they're in a position where they got to put up or shut up, that's where they start to kowtow a little bit. You know, like, I don't want to go in there, you know, because they're not confident. They're not confident in their own abilities. And then the other thing is you have people that legitimately, they just have certain concerns. Like a big one that I've seen is people get claustrophobic with the masks. And I've seen a guy that, came into my department, was really struggling with the masks. He wanted to do it. You know, he wanted to get in there or whatever, but the mask was always freaking him out. And that's something that kind of has to be figured out way in the beginning when somebody's coming in. Set the expectations, you know, have them put that mask on. And, yeah, you got to put them through all those scenarios for in-house training. Like, I think talking to Ryan, who's going through his Firefighter 1, the amount of kids, and I saw this when I went through Firefighter 1, and Kevin, I'm sure you see it a million times, but the kids that go there completely unaware of what they're supposed to be doing. Like, they're just, okay, go to the academy, learn everything. like kids putting their packs on the wrong way,
Well,
or whatever.
I
it
think
is.
that's a failure of the department.
No, that's
you know,
what I'm
and,
saying, but
you know,
it's like
these
company officer
they're
failing.
they're supposed to come to the academy with certain abilities before you start your firefighter one.
Absolutely.
Firefighter one is a very it's a national curriculum. It's a very baseline. There's a lot more to it than just taking a firefighter one class.
Right.
Just like even a firefighter two class. Like I could teach you so much. You have to go out there and do shit. You got to learn things on your own. I mean, I can show you what a sprinkler system is. I can show you how a foam system works, and I could talk about all this stuff about building collapse and everything else. But unless you're out there and actually doing it, all right. And you saw I posted a couple of pictures online. I was in a furniture store, and I'm just walking around, and my daughter and my wife are looking at furniture, because she's moved down
Kevin's looking
to
at the
Florida.
exits.
And, I check out the exits. I'm looking at the ceiling. I'm looking at the walls. I'm checking things out. And I found a lot of crap in different furniture stores down there, and people like location, this and that, I'm not going to give them up. But, like that right there, okay, is a perfect example. If you were in that town as a firefighter, as a Volly, and I'd say, that's a problem for me getting out. If shit goes wrong and we have a collapse, that bed is blocking that exit, okay? You need easy access to that. Okay. Another one, I took a picture, a bunk bed, fire extinguisher sign on the wall. It's in where the bunk bed is. Like, how the hell are you going to get
What
in
was
there?
even good with that? Why was I've never seen a fire extinguisher like at that height.
No, it was low, but it was underneath the bunk bed.
Let me look
So
maybe
it
I
was
looked
on the
wrong.
wall, and then somebody pushed the bunk bed against there, right? So now, if there's a fire and you have to get to that fire extinguisher, right? Then I go over to the sprinkler system, which is by the back door, right? There's another furniture store. The sprinkler system had pressure. Good. That's all good. The last time it was inspected was 2020. 2020. So, when we're out and about, you always have to be looking at things that are going to hurt firefighters, hurt you. And you should say something. And I went to the guy. I'm like, you really shouldn't have that bed blocked. You think they did anything about it? Probably not. But I told him, just like your sprinkler system, I told the guy, I'm like, listen, your sprinkler system's supposed to be inspected every year.
The crazy part too is it also matters on jurisdiction as well.
It
and
does.
It gets so local sometimes.
It
too.
does, but nobody's been in that building since 2020
Yeah,
to
it's
inspect
crazy.
it. Come on, nobody's been in there to see that there's a bed blocking the door. Somebody saw it, and they just walked right by it, just like the construction and everything else. You gotta constantly be educating yourself, and as volunteers, we volunteer in our communities. We're in these buildings every day. You go to the store and you shop, and you're probably just looking, oh, I need this box off the shelf, and I need this container. You're not looking at everything else. Look
talk
at the
about it all
exit.
the
Looks
time.
at the doors. Look at the way things,
Right
anything
around-
that can help you.
Right around here, this industrial park, going into that building one time for an automatic fire alarm, and we're doing our investigation, finding out where it is, and I go right into the warehouse, and what's in front of the exit? The fucking, the shelf. Like, the metal shelf in front of the exit. It's not something that two guys can pick up and move.
Correct.
It has to be disassembled. And I said to the guy, I went with a building rep, I'm like, you got to get rid of that. And I'm like, I'm here, I'm a firefighter. I'm here in case something happens. But that, you're going to get written up for that. So I told him, take care of it. We wound up going back there, I think later that night or the next day or something like that. And it was still there. And that was the only time I ever called a fire marshal. Because I'm like, these are huge stacks, in this warehouse, and this one's blocking the exit. You're fucked if something happens.
There's a lot of buildings like that.
It's crazy.
Listen, people, like I said all the time, a regular civilian does not think about the fire department. They don't think that they're going to have a fire. They don't think they're going to call for an ambulance until it happens. And then they say, holy crap, and then it's too late. And for us as firefighters, if that's going to impede my exit because something goes wrong in a collapse and I can't get out, that's a problem.
100%.
So, you got to think about yourself. You got to think about your crew, your department, and everything else. And we're out there every day, here and there, volunteer or not. You have to be educated into what's going on and pay attention, because that's how your life is going to depend on it down the line. Whether it's training in-house, educating yourself for the local laws and everything, just pay attention to what's going on around you.
Yeah, now getting back to the
So,
cowardness
so,
in the
so
fire
get,
service.
getting back to expectations, let's go back to that. I don't, want to portray that this is a super dangerous thing, that you're going to die tomorrow or anything like that, especially a new member. But you need to tell them. You need to tell them this is a risky business. You're about to risk your life as a volunteer, okay? And we're going to train you to ensure that something bad isn't going to happen to you. So you got to set that expectation, teach them the right way. Like I said, like even read the inside of your coat and read that it tells you it's limited protection and fires. Like show people what this means. And it actually says that you're supposed to read the operator's manual before you wear your gear. I know people don't do it, but you're supposed to. It's crazy shit. But nobody reads even directions when we put things together, right? We're going to figure it out on our own. But, you know, our training and ability, our education is what helps us or what keeps us moving forward. Like you said, the SCBA. The more you wear that SCBA and put that face piece on, not just on your back, wear that face piece and breathe in that air, the more comfortable you're going to get. So one of our Proby instructors the other night sent me a picture. He had the Probies washing the engine with full gear on and SCBA, brand new Probies, to get comfortable with the SCBA. All right? It's a simple thing. The rig's got to be washed anywhere. Listen, make it a training. Make it a training. Put your gear on, wear your SCBA. I'm a true believer in this. You know, I love that he did that. You know, like I said, every time you go out for training, put that SCBA in your back. If you can wear it on your face, the more comfortable, the longer you'll be able to breathe air out of that thing. If it's ladders, get comfortable. Start with just small. Maybe a 6-foot ladder, you know, like an OV ladder. Do you guys have OV ladders in Hopog? 6-foot ladder?
6 foot? I have a little giant.
You should get a 6-foot straight ladder for first floor windows. It's called an OV ladder. But this way you put it right up, get them comfortable on 6 feet. Climb up 6, come down, you know, whatever. Leg lock, whatever. Then give them a bigger ladder. Give them a 14-foot roof ladder. Let them climb up that, get it up and down. Now give them a 20-foot straight ladder, maybe a 24, maybe a 28, and get more and more comfortable. The more times you're on a ladder, the more comfortable you'll be in getting over that height problem.
Do they still do over by you the leg lock up on the 24-foot extension ladder and throw fucking balls at you?
I haven't made anybody do
when
that.
When I joined, one of the things I had to do, I had to
you fucking dislocate your knee.
I had to go.
I mean, nowadays with bailout harnesses with the hook, you can just hook yourself
I had
on.
to climb up a 24-footer to the second floor in leg lock, and they were throwing fucking footballs at me, and I had to reach over.
Lock your leg and put your hands up and lean
Yeah,
back.
yeah, and I had to catch the football. I'm like, what the
Just
fuck
make sure
is
somebody's
going on?
butting the ladder so it don't slip out.
Yeah.
But you know, there's a lot of different ways to get over fear and get comfortable and panic, stuff like that. So when, you know, people say, oh, you don't need to go to this extreme or you don't need to do this or whatever, if you stress people out and challenge them, they will get more comfortable. And I know, listen, the building is not always going to fall. You don't always have to use an emergency escape procedure with an SCBA. But if you practice for the worst extreme, pin them down, put a fence on top of them, put a bookcase on top of them, something, and pin them down and hold them down for a minute and see if they panic or not, or get them comfortable in that situation. They will get better. I said years ago, I worked with a guy, and he was a little nutty, but he would take a spoon and throw it on the apparatus floor and block himself out with the SCBA and go search for a spoon.
Yeah, I remember you saying
But
that.
he was very comfortable searching. He was very comfortable with his SCBA on. I know it sounds like a minuscule, stupid thing to do, and most of us did laugh a bit, but he was so comfortable in everything he did because he drilled and trained. You don't need 5 guys to do that drill. That's one person doing a drill. One person can do a ladder drill if you tie off the ladder and do it correctly. So get over these fears. Don't just say, I'm not going to do it. Oh, I'm a volunteer. You can't make me climb a ladder. Or, oh, well, I'm a volunteer. You can't make me. You know what? Stop the bullshit. Train yourself. And, you know, as Jason Breslin says, hard to kill. Make yourself hard to kill.
You know, people all the time shit on SCBA dodgeball.
I think it's good.
I think that is a phenomenal drill for 2 reasons. One, you're putting people under pressure because it's kind of hard to run around, like actually run around like you would in regular dodgeball with full gear on, full SCBA. And then on top of that, try and catch dodgeballs with your gloves on. And then, you know, trying to...
Dexterity.
Yeah, you know, duck and dive, dip, dodge, whatever they say in fucking Dodgeball, the movie. But
That's a funny movie.
yeah, but that also it gives you the opportunity to learn how to conserve your air and control your breathing. And people are like, oh, it's fucking SCBA dodgeball, we're wasting time. Well, no, you got to get the guys comfortable with wearing all that gear and trying to move quickly in that gear. You know, because everything we do is you're on your hands and knees, you know, doing a regular search or something like that, which is also good and also needs to be done. But at the same time, like, you have to give people full range of motion in that gear and wearing the SCBA to get them fully comfortable with it. I'm not saying do that every drill, but like throw it in there every now and then if you don't have anything solid planned.
We have a really good...
Listen, just masking up. You know, you watch some of these guys and their speed putting that face piece on, right? You call it the mask. But, you know, practicing and getting your mask on quickly, that face piece, right? People will say, there's no need for speed. There's no need. No, there is a need. And, you know, I'm not talking about being a yard breather, you know, all this other crap. You know, I don't think people should be walking around. You know, I don't want to waste my air. But you should be ready to go. You should be able to, and whatever your decision is, whether you mask up before you put the ladder to the window and then take the window and go in right away, you got to be ready to go. Or climb to the ladder and be able to put your face piece on in 30 seconds and jump in that window. But I watch guys all the time. They put the ladder up like the OV. They climb up, right? They looking in the window like first, and then, I got to take my helmet off, and now I got... Look, if you don't practice doing that, or putting your face piece on at a window on a ladder, you're not going to be able to do it. It's going to take you a long time. And if there's a civilian trapped in there, it's too late.
It also is all about speed. Like,
it is about
you gotta
speed.
Be good, but like the fire's only going to get worse.
That's it.
Like it is.
But when especially when lives are in jeopardy, like you got to be able to mask up quickly enough to get in there to get that civilian out. And if you're an OV, like, all right, I get it. You can do it on the ground and then shoot up the ladder and jump right in the window. That's great. All right. But if you're going to climb to the top of the window because you want to conserve a little air, you better be able to mask up very fast at the top of the window, not peeking around. Now what do I do with my helmet? Like, you got to be prepared.
And also making sure you don't get fucking glass in your mask if it's dangling below you and you pop a fucking window open.
I used to ride with a guy. He's just not as active anymore. He would, if he knew it was confirmed and we're going smoke showing flames out the windows, he wouldn't go on air in the truck, but he'd put his mask on in the truck. And I'd be like, why? I'm like, we usually put it on, you know, when we get up there. He goes, I know it's on fire. He's like, I know I'm going to have to put it on.
You're going to have to put it on at some point.
Like, so I just put it on now.
You know, some people take a little bit of smoke first before they go in. And I'm not saying you should do that. You know, everybody's a little different, but you got to protect yourself. We do have to worry about cancer and everything else. But you got to be able to move. Now, sometimes you put that face piece on beforehand and it fogs up and you can't see anything, which is a problem. So
the minute you click that thing in, though,
it starts clearing.
and then it's
yeah,
like,
but you know, it depends on the temperature. It depends on
absolutely.
the humidity. It depends on so many factors.
Our new Scott masks, they at least I've only experienced them fogging inside the fire, and they fog on the outside. Where we used to have Dragers, the old Dragers. This is like 10 years ago. And they would fog on the inside, and you'd have to purge it to clear the fog out of the inside, which is odd because now it's the opposite, and it fogs on the outside.
It really depends on a lot of factors, right? If it's cold outside, your face piece is cold, and now you go inside to a hot fire or with humidity because of water on the fire, it's going to fog outside very quickly.
Right.
Or even inside. It depends. So, and sometimes, you know, you get water in your face piece because it's raining out or something like that. Now you put it. So there's so many different factors that come into that. So you have to be comfortable anyway to operate.
Well, that's also part of the reason that we train blindfolded. You know,
You're not going to be able to see everything.
Relying on your other senses to get you to where you need to go. And
to get comfortable.
And to get comfortable. I mean, that's the thing. Like, if you got people coming in and you're concerned about them being cowards or not, and I do feel like some departments have fallen off with that. I mean, I had years ago, I had a young member that came in and everything was a little bit more hands-off. Like, they didn't want us to go too crazy. And this member wound up going to a fire, got on the ladder truck with a bunch of experienced guys, and this person wound up following them. It was a confirmed fire in an apartment building. Followed them to the top of the stairs. These guys didn't pack up till they got to the top steps. And they wound up inhaling some smoke and absolutely freaked out. And that's the other thing you have to worry about with people who might be scared of heights, scared of fire, whatever it is. If you
Don't
have
join the fire department.
Well, but I'm just saying, like, some people join thinking it's the social club or whatever, then they realize that there's other shit to do. Well, now they become a liability on the fire ground itself. You know, when you have somebody that's a little bit nervous about going into a house, well, okay, now you got to keep on. That's another person that's taking away from what you're supposed to be doing. So that's another part of that.
You see people that get off the rig and then they just stand around or they walk around like, you know, oh, I'll just put a ladder up. And that stuff is important. But if you're part of that crew that's supposed to be in the interior, that's no good. You know,
I don't bug
you know, like
on
we
any of
have
that
riding positions in my department. You sit in a seat, that's your position. You shouldn't be going off and doing other things unless you're ordered to do those.
I think of it as I maintain my fitness, my acumen, my training to a certain level, and I expect that from other people too. So when people like,
we do, but everybody's going to be a little different, unfortunately.
I just don't accept like the
Mediocrity.
No, I get what you're saying. Yeah,
The mediocrity. I get it. I get upset too, but I can't, I can't concern myself with every person.
Right, but
I do my best, and you lead by example, and hopefully people will follow you.
That's exactly what I was just gonna say. Like, you're gonna have people, like, usually those people that aren't willing to train or keep up their fitness or whatever, they're just overall lazy people. And when it comes to doing the real shit, and they want to be there, they want to be the hero, they're not gonna be able to do it.
Yeah.
When guys like you and the rest of your crew are running circles around them. But, like, trying to force them, like, you got to be like us, will never work.
I think it is a very like performance-based job to
Absolutely
fight fire. It's not like, you could be like nothing against police at all, but like you could be a cop, but you could be a really good admin. You might not be the bust down the door guy. You'll never be an ESU, but you might be a really good lieutenant. Like, I feel like those people exist. I just feel like in firefighting, like literal firefighting, you can't. Like, you got to maintain a standard. Like,
yeah, I mean,
it's
think
gotta
about
be
it.
there.
Like, you go to the gym, right? You're in a gym. You have all the weights. You have the treadmills, whatever. You're working out. Now crank the heat all the way up. Way hot.
do hot yoga.
But I'm saying you have all that extra heat that's on your body on top of whatever cardio. You're not doing cardio, but your heart's gonna be beating rapidly. And if you have an occupant trapped. So it's the stress plus the heat plus the physical stress that's on your body. So if you aren't staying in tip-top shape, yeah, you're going to be one of those guys that has a heart issue. And that's absolutely something to be aware of.
Yeah, I saw an article recently. Something probably respiratory or cardiac related, and I don't know if the guy died or not, but it's like,
well, you think about it. The other thing, too, is complacency is a problem. Because you have departments out there that might do 300 calls a year, and it's just the standard run-of-the-mill automatic alarm, MVA, whatever it might be. And they're just doing the bare minimum training. And, Kevin, you've mentioned this before about
Cutting quarters.
Yeah, or cutting corners, but training above the minimum standard so that if you're having an off day, you'll still be performing to standard.
I wish I could remember the person that said that, because I'd love to give them credit, so it's not my line, but I love that they train well above that minimum standard, so I'm trying not to steal somebody's stuff. I don't want to be a stealer of stuff, but there was a person, chief or whatever, that I saw that, and I love that clip of saying, I train my members so much higher, so if they're having a bad day, they're still above the minimum standard. I love it. I think that's where we need to be.
That's good.
There's also such thing called the normalization of deviance, and there's some videos out there. You should look it up, the normalization of deviance. But it's the idea of you're always taking shortcuts, so that becomes the norm, and then eventually that shortcut actually backfires on you, and things go wrong. And it was something with the shuttle, the Challenger, not the Challenger, but the shuttle. Maybe it was the Challenger, I forget. But, it came back and like an O-ring was burnt a little bit. And, each time it kept doing it. And instead of fixing the problem, they just said, oh, it's kind of like the norm. And then eventually, like the Challenger blew up, or one of the shuttles. I forget which one was. But that was a normalization of deviance. Same thing with, there was a pilot. Same thing. Like he did this all the time. He kept pushing the limit. And then eventually he crashed the plane. So we can't always be taking shortcuts or the easy way out. Are there other ways to do things? Absolutely, I agree. There's a lot of ways to force a door. There's a lot of ways to put fire out. But if you're taking a shortcut where you're kind of going off that standard, you better make sure it's right. Because if that starts being the normalization deviance, and then we have a catastrophic failure or somebody gets killed, it's not a good day for us.
Right.
So you can look up normalization of deviance, look at some of the videos on it. Like I said, there's a lot of information out there. There's a lot of stuff in this file cabinet here. I just can't remember everything.
Well, it's the other thing, too, when you look at understanding your department's SOPs, SOGs, like that kind of, that gives you the
guideline, the standard, yep. And some people don't even have guidelines or standards in SOPs of what or who does what.
Right.
And the more you have, and I understand the volunteer service is very difficult because you don't know who's on a rig. You don't know what everybody's ability is. We're not all the same. But we have that general baseline that's what our SOPs should be worked off of. And then you can have a little adjustment up or down depending on what happens. But we should have more policies. We should have more SOPs. Like I said, we have riding positions for a reason. So you sit in that seat, you know what your job is, you know what your tools are, you know if you're stretching a line, and then you just do that job. It makes it simple. It's when people deviate off of that, that's when we have issues.
Right. So, yeah, take that for what it's worth.
Don't be a coward.
Don't be a coward.
I hate cowards.
Make sure you set expectations in your firehouse when you're getting new members.
Another thing that's very important, every year we should be going through or reading through policies, procedures, make sure everybody understands what they are. The same thing with your mission statement. Every department with a volunteer page should have a mission statement, and you should reiterate that mission statement from time to time at a meeting or, say the beginning of the year, January, your department meeting, company meeting. Read the mission statement of what we're here for. Why do we exist? We exist for the community, right? That's what we're here for. We're here to save lives and property. So whatever your mission statement is, and if it's not a good one, fix it. But read it to your members. Let them know what our mission and our drive is, why we're here. And then do it again in 6 months. Read it again to your membership and say, this is why we're here. This is why we exist. This is why we do what we do. And try to push that all the time into your membership's mind of, this is why we're here. We're not here for the parties and the social functions and everything else. We're here to protect our community. That's what we're here for.
Right. And you should do the same with the SOPs and the SOGs. And
you should at least review them.
Yeah, I mean,
at a minimum.
way I think of it is, the SOPs are like lanes in a road. Like if you're in between those lanes, you're in that lane. You're staying in that lane. That's your standard operating procedure is what you should be doing. And if you veer off from that into the next lane, you're either going to get honked at or you're going to cause a pileup. And you don't want to be in that situation on the fire ground where you cause a pileup. And then you look at your SOGs like the exit signs on a road, guiding you where to go to get to your destination. Okay? If you miss one, you miss your exit, there's still a way to get there, but you just now have to pay close attention. That way you don't veer too far off the road.
Yep.
Just something to think about. Because the more you understand them, the better you're gonna be.
Listen, I went through a long time in my department, and when I was chief, I realized we didn't have a mission statement. So I wrote the mission statement for my department, and it's still
we don't have one.
Yeah, it's still in existence, and that was 20 years ago when I was chief. But, there was no mission statement. And I remember somebody talking about it in the past, and then I took a class, and they were talking about mission statements, and I'm like, you know what? I've never heard anybody talk about having a mission statement. And I looked it up. We had no mission statement. So I wrote a mission statement. I gave it to the other chiefs. I said, what do you guys think of this? And they're like, do we need that? I'm like, yeah, we should have a mission statement. Why are we here? Why do we exist? So that's our mission statement. It's still there today. That's been there for 20 years now. So, you should have one. Everybody should have a mission statement.
Yeah.
It's a wrap on the Halloween?
I think that's a wrap on the Halloween one. 'Cause I know
when are we putting it out? Tomorrow? Before Halloween?
we got to put it out before Halloween.
We got to.
What do you think?
I'll queue it up tomorrow.
Yeah, cue it.
Cute.
All right, cool.
We sold some Halloween swag, so that was
did.
pretty cool.
And now it's if don't order it now because it's too late.
Yeah.
Well, you'll have it for next year if you want.
Well, we'll put some more stuff out next
Yeah,
year.
we
I think we did a little bit too late. We should probably start thinking of some Christmas shit. Get it out there now.
September,
Yeah,
Geez, the stores have had Christmas shit out since like August.
I know.
It's
I
like
know.
insane.
Yeah, my fiance, my wife sends me a picture. She was like, "Oh, I'm stopping at Home Goods." She had to grab some
Oh,
stuff.
my
and
God,
she starts
yeah.
taking pictures. She's all excited in the Christmas section. I'm like, "Don't bring any of that
Yeah,
shit.
I
home.
don't. Yeah.
Do not bring
I,
anything."
I
like
didn't
that
I
home.
didn't send this to you guys, but when I was down in Tampa, this is pretty funny. They had some cool stuff. We went to like one of the home stores, so I was gonna buy that fucker.
Jeez.
It's a
I
giant
would like that shit
gingerbread
on
man.
Giant gingerbread man.
That shit is
It's
in my
probably hard
home.
to see, but it's a giant gingerbread man. And I'm like, I'm gonna buy this. My wife's like, are you crazy? Where are you gonna put it? I go, I'll put it right on a plane, take it home
I don't
with
like
me.
decorations because I don't like clutter. So
I don't
this-
either. It's
and
just
this
there's
is
so much stuff.
shit.
Yeah.
But there was some cool stuff out there. You know, you go to some of these stores and you're like, wow, that's pretty neat.
I
But,
think of it
like, where are you
as-
gonna put this
As
crap?
non-functional items in a room, like they
Yeah.
have no purpose.
And you know, more and more in the firefighting world, it gets very dangerous because a lot of stuff is very, you know, plastic and crap. And where do people keep it? They keep it in the basement or the attics.
I just said Kevin.
Or the attics, you know, and you get a good attic job, man, and it's ruined because you got a lot of plastic and crap
Yeah,
up
and you
there.
hear like the Santa as it's burning, it's got like the little voice box go ho 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 ho. All right, let's wrap this shit up.
All right, that's a wrap.
What is this? Episode
Episode-
4?
Episode
40.
40 is out.
Noise.